said to Serbia, you know, your 17-year-old schoolboys came and shot our Duke, so we're going to beat you up. And Russia said, but the Serbs are Slavs like us, so if you do that, we'll beat you up. Germany said, but the Austro-Hungarians speak German like we do, so if you do that, we will attack you, Russia. And France said, but the Russians speak French when they're being fancy, so we'll attack you if you do that. And Britain said, well, we might as well get into this, otherwise we'll have to deal with Ireland. So from those, and that's actually like what happened, basically. And from those two countries, from those two people dying, suddenly you had hundreds of millions of people at war with each other. And, you know, 3 months later, it's not just in Europe, 3 months later, you had the Japanese attacking a German base in China. It spread around the entire world. And if you, and like 15 million people were killed in the war. Another 30 million people were killed by the Spanish flu after the war because everyone was so stressed out, they couldn't move around, they all got the flu. And if you, like H1N1 virus, that scares the crap out of everyone like every 5 years, is actually a descendant of the Spanish flu. So we're still dealing with the, you know, the biological fallout of these Serbian 17-year-old schoolboys going and shooting Franz Ferdinand and Sophie. And that is just so weird. It's just so weird that I decided I would make it weirder. Because by changing all the technologies and by also, you know, I think the only thing that would make it weirder would be is if Franz and Sophie were your parents. I mean, I actually lost my own mother like 8 years ago, and there is something that happens when you lose a parent. It's like the world is broken. You know, it just doesn't feel right for a while. The world is wrong and strange and weird. But when Franz Ferdinand and Sophie's, you know, when their kids lost their parents, the world really did break. So imagine that, like you lose your parents, and every day for the next 5 years, every page of every newspaper in the world is about the fallout from your family tragedy. It's about a ship being sunk, or a terrible battle killing a million soldiers, or a country being wiped off the map. And it's all because of your family tragedy. Like, how weird would that be? So I decided it'd be really cool to tell the story from the point of view of Prince Alec. In the real world, they actually had 3 kids named Max and Ernst and something else, but I got rid of 2 of them. And just gave them 1 and made him a little older. And of course, so it's about him, and it's also about, of course, Darren Sharp. But we'll get back to her. So, obviously, once his parents are killed, the very night his parents are killed, his faithful servant take Alec, whisk him away in a giant walking tank. Now, why did I decide to do a giant walking tank? Why did I decide to do walking machines? Well, I mean, A, walking machines are totally awesome. B, Keith draws them really well. And C, you know, it's kind of interesting to think about technologies going in different directions. I mean, you know, like, for example, what's faster, a car or a horse? What's faster, legs or wheels, car or horse? Car. Well, what if you're in a dense forest? What's faster? Horse. Okay. What if you're in like rocky terrain in the mountains? What's faster? Horse. So why did you guys say car? Where's a car better? Road. Right, a big paved road. Now, here's what we did. Instead of building machines with legs, we decided to pave the crap out of the entire world. Like, you could go out to that parking lot and take a soccer ball and kick it to my house in New York and never have to go across grass or dirt. You can go on paved roads the entire way. And that's a decision we made. In 1914, those paved roads didn't exist. There were very few paved roads. Or, you know, in the time leading up to 1920 anyway. So, we could have gone a different direction. And this was really brought home to me. About 16 chapters in, I had been writing, but I'd kind of like taken a couple weeks off, and Keith caught up to me. You know, I was giving him a few chapters, he would draw, he would bounce some sketches back to me, we're going back and forth. And he caught up to me and said, well, what do I draw now? I got nothing to draw. Right. And I was like, yeah, I don't feel like writing. How about this? In about 3 chapters, something's going to chase Alec. Could you draw something like kind of fast, and then I'll write it in? And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. And he was like, great. And I was like, great. So he came back with this 4-legged walking machine. It's sort of like a motorcycle horse thing. And when I first saw it, actually I said, you you know, Keith, I kind of don't buy this one. It's weirder than all the other ones. It's so fanciful. I don't believe that anybody would actually design something like this. And he said, oh, really? So here's a pro tip. Illustrators who are better researchers than you. So this is called Il Dovino, which is Italian for, I think, really stupid. Because, I mean, that kid does not look happy, right? Perhaps his fez is too tight. But I made that joke like 2 days ago. It was in Kansas City at the school, and this kid was like, he's styling. Yes, he is. But it shows you, you know, technology could have gone in different directions. It could have been